Hi, today I want to start my talk out with just a little bit of a scenario. Let's say you go to the grocery store and you spend $200 to $300 on nice, good, healthy, fresh food. You go home, you put it in the refrigerator, you put it in the freezer, and you're ready to go. You go to bed, and when you wake up the next morning, you notice that your fridge and refrigerator is no longer working. Now you have a good amount of food that is still good, it's still cold. Would you grab a trash can and just start throwing it all away and say, oh well, that was a loss? Or would you call your family, your friends, your neighbors and say, hey, I have this food I'd like to gift to you because if not, it'll go to waste? Of course, most of you would give it away instead of throw it away. You're thinking, that's a pretty easy answer. However, that same scenario goes for organ donation. Would you be able to give your organs away if they're still good for someone? In America, 2,600 people die a day. 20 of those people are on an organ transplant list. That means that somebody did not give their stuff away if they could. I want to talk to you just a little bit about organ donation, just touch the tip of the iceberg and hopefully educate you and make you rethink your decision on being an organ donation person or not. First of all, let's talk about who can receive an organ transplant. You can receive an organ transplant if you need lungs, a heart, liver, kidney, pancreas, cornea, tissues, and bones. So pretty wide spectrum of who can receive a transplant. Let's talk about the youngest transplant patient to date. His name is Oliver. He's from Arizona and he was born premature. When he was born, he had the size of a heart of a 5-year-older. They knew automatically that that was not going to work and that he was going to need to be on the transplant list. Luckily for Oliver, because he was so young, he went to the very top of the transplant list. And 4 days later, he received a transplant. In 2013 was when Oliver received his heart transplant. He's now 5 years old, and other than some minor issues and some medication that he has to take on a daily basis, he's a normal, healthy boy, and his family gets to enjoy him, and he gets to have experiences that he wouldn't have had. Let's go to the flip side and talk about Arthur. Arthur, at the age of 66, received his first heart transplant. With that heart transplant, he was able to see his grandchildren be born. He was able to have memories with his wife of 50 years that he's now married to for 50 years. And he is now able to golf every day, which is a love of his. Well, fast forward in 15 years and he needs another heart transplant. Most people would never give Arthur another transplant, but at 81 he received his second heart transplant. He was able to keep that for 7 years. He still golfed every day. He still made memories with his kids and his grandkids and his beloved wife. And then after 7 years, he died of a stroke, which I would say is a pretty amazing lifespan for a man that wasn't supposed to live past 66. So as you can see, this spectrum of people that can receive a transplant is vast, which is pretty exciting news. Let's talk about some of the facts. Who can donate? First of all, anybody can donate. If you're 18 or younger, you need your parents' permission. They need to be the one that says that you can donate. After that, you can donate. You need to be HIV free, and you also need to not have any cancer in your body. If you do, that's going to harm the transplant patient. And then the other thing is that you need to be psychiatrically free to be able to give one of your organs away. That's a big thing. Can you handle it? Well, I want to talk to you just a little bit about my history with transplants. I've been married for almost 20 years, and at 21 years old, my husband, who was born with a rare disease called Alport syndrome, received his first transplant from a 66-year-old man that was driving on a motorcycle and died. He saved my husband's life at 21, which enabled my husband to get married, graduate college, and have kids. Well, fast forward 16 years, and my husband was in need of his second transplant. We get a call early one morning that he is a perfect match for a kidney. An 11-year-old boy named Jacob died due to an asthma attack. My husband received that transplant and to this date is doing good. He was able to see my daughter graduate high school, start college, see my son go on his first homecoming day, and become a licensed driver. So he's had many vast experiences just because somebody gave his transplant. I get asked many questions, such as, how old are you when you give a transplant? Can you be too old? Can you be too young? The answer is no. The oldest person to ever give a transplant was 93 years old, and that was his last act of service to someone. Another question I get is it against my religion? As a rule, most religions believe that it is your last great gift that you give to humankind, that it's a great service and a great gift. Another one is it a financial burden to the donor? And the awesome answer is no. It's absolutely free to a donor. It's something that they can give without worry. As I talk to you about organ donation, I hope that you think, maybe this is good for me. Maybe I can do it. I hope that you go on organdonation.org and look it up and see if it's something for you. Barack Obama said that one person can save the life of a mother, a sister, a daughter, a father, a brother, and a son by giving an organ donation. The old saying goes that heaven doesn't need our organs, that we need them here on earth. So I truly hope that you go and do some research and that I've made you think just a little bit on organ donation. Thank you for your time.